We're going up to that thin blue line with this competitive police keyword theme team coming right up. Mr. Clicksflix is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning role for all your gaming needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafe.com or on their Facebook page using the link found in the description of this video. Alright guys, so today we are talking about a competitive Heroclix team. This one having the police keyword. This is a really cool team. I like it. It's anti a lot of things in the meta right now. Now, full disclosure, this team, as of the filming and uploading of this video, isn't legal yet. So don't expect to see this at Worlds, because two, what I feel are fairly important components of it, aren't legal yet for tournament use. They will be legal, I believe, the beginning of December. But this team, I've been working with it ever since I got these objects, and let's go ahead and talk about it. And this team also sports 3 ID cards, which I didn't bother getting out. The ID cards that I'm using are Student ID Marvel Girl, Student ID Cyclops, and the Chamber Student ID. Alright, so up first we have number 59 from the Batman the Animated Series set, The Gray Ghost. He has the Batman family, Gotham City, Justice Society, Celebrity, Detective, and Police keywords. He has 2 traits and a special on his damage. His first trait is Tough Silver Screen Idol. At the beginning of the game, you may choose a character on your force named Batman or Bruce Wayne. If you do, the Gray Ghost and the chosen attacker's attack rolls of double 3s, double 4s, double 5s, or double 6s are critical hits. That's pretty cool. There's a variant of this team where you might get some use out of that, where it's using the convention-exclusive purchasable Batman, the Robo one with the Jim Gordon Pog. He's 150 points. That would give you some extra use out of that, but we're not going to get much use out of that on this team. His other trait is, hey, we don't need more extras in this scene. While the Great Ghost is on the map, characters can't generate bystanders if a bystander of that name is already on the map. If a character generates multiple bystanders at once, they can generate the first one. That's important. That's really why he's on this team, because right now, some big things in the meta are Starro, the convention exclusive. He can generate up to 6 of those Starro fights basically in a turn, and then he gets bonuses for the Starro fights and can do some crazy things if he KOs one. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to limit that. Then there's also Groot with the Walking Woods, so you're able to limit that with him. Alright, next up we have Sheriff Steve Rogers, number 006 from the Secret Wars Battle World set. He has the Battle World the Valley, Past, Police, and Soldier keywords. He has 1 trait and a special on his damage. His trait is Showdown. When Sheriff Steve Rogers makes an attack and hits all targets, after resolution roll a d6, 5 or 6, remove an action token from Sheriff Steve Rogers. Pretty cool there. You get to attack and then possibly remove a token from yourself. I've never seen a time when that ability would be something that I'd look down my nose at, so that's just pretty cool. The special on his damage is called No One's Above the Law, Leadership. When Sheriff Steve Rogers or an adjacent friendly character is attacked, the attacker cannot positively modify or replace their attack value. That is huge and why he's on this team. So, leadership's good. As we discussed, this is a police theme team, so he can pull a token from literally anybody on this team. That's good. Then he gives you an extra 1 in your action total, so you could, in theory, do something with all 4 characters on this team in one go-round. But the big thing is not letting your opponent increase their stats when attacking him or adjacent friendly characters. So right now with Starro, a popular thing to run is Star Fox, the Chase from Avengers Infinity, to give him +2 attack. So this really kind of nips that in the bud. And then X-Men with, their 80,000 perplexes on the Dirty Bird team to get, the 10 attack call-ins up to a 13 attack. It really takes care of a lot of that. And then to top it off, he does have Energy Shield Deflection with an 18 defense. So that's pretty good there. So he effectively always has a 20 defense at ranged. He's only 50 points, has the PD team ability, has a 6 range single target, 8 movement with running shot, 10 attack, that 18 defense with energy shield we just talked about, 3 damage with that special that is oh so awesome. So again, he's just going to be here to pull tokens and to make it so that your other characters don't get, steamrolled by an opponent that's able to perplex something up by +2 or +3. He makes it so that they all get a solid defense. And we're going to discuss later on that, what the defenses look like on this team and how to use it. But this guy's just really solid overall. Definitely a fantastic figure for this team that would more than pull his 50-point weight. And he's a competent secondary attacker. Alright, so next up we have number 063, Sheriff Strange from the Marvel Heroclix Secret Wars Battle World set. He has the Battle World Other, Illuminati, Mystical, and Police keywords. He has 2 traits, a special on his attack and a special on his defense. His first trait is called Baron of Battle World, Leadership Perplex. When Sheriff Strange uses Perplex to target another character, you may instead modify a combat value except damage +2 if the target shares a Battle World keyword, or -2 if the target has a different Battle World keyword. So pretty cool there. He's bringing leadership to the table, just like Sheriff Steve Rogers. So if you get 2 good leadership rolls, you're able to pull off 2 tokens, which is fabulous. He has Perplex. It's important to note that he can use standard Perplex, so he could target himself or somebody that he doesn't share a Battle World keyword with to give him a +1 or a -1 stat bump. But if he does find another target that has Battle World Other keyword, he can bump it up by +2 as long as it's not him, or -2 if it's on an opponent's team. So pretty cool there. And then his other trait is the walls of Battle World must remain inviolate. Opposing characters must use a double power action instead of a power action to activate ID cards. And that is one of the main reasons why he's on this team. We all know Dirty Bird relies on drawing in ID cards, and while making them take a double power action to bring in those ID cards isn't going to stop them, it's going to slow them down. You're taking away 1/3 of their action economy when you do that. Starro teams use ID cards, and the Goblin King that's roaming around right now, he uses, I think, 1 ID card. So you might be able to make him take a double power action and kind of have to chill for a turn. So that's pretty cool, something that you can do there. Just really good. The game, so many people rely so much on the ID cards that I think this is actually a really good ability. Then the special on his attack is there's only 1 will that rules here. Penetrating Psychic Blast. When Sheriff Strange uses it, after resolution, hit characters can't use or become equipped by equipment until your next turn. Includes equipment characters, so Beta Ray Bills and Thors that come with, Mjolnir or Stormbreaker or something like that. They can't use that equipment. So this is really important because, there's Goblin King that relies on, special objects. There's Mjolnir and Star Fox, and I'm sure a bunch of other things that I'm not thinking of right now. That this really, if you can shut that down for a turn, you can turn the tide of a game. So that's really huge there. And then he has a special on his defense called Scattered to the Winds. Stop. When this click is first revealed, if you paid 100 points for Sheriff Strange, after resolution you may place all other friendly characters within range into squares within 3 squares of the squares they currently occupy. So you're able to kind of shift around your whole team as long as they're within his range, which is a pretty decent 8. So we are going to, on this team, be playing him at his full 100 points. He has the Mystics team ability, 8 range like we just talked about with single target, 12 movement with phasing teleport and the flight ability, 11 attack with that special, 18 defense, energy shield deflection, and indomitability, 4 damage with probability control. So this guy brings us a leadership, he brings us a perplex, he makes it so that our opponents can't that they have to take a double power action if they bring in an ID card, and he has the ability to shut down equipment, just shut it down if he hits them with it. And that's it. They don't even have to take damage, it's just hit. So if he used Psychic Blast on somebody that's, let's say, had it invincible, and they were able to basically tank most of his damage, doesn't matter. They would still take the can't use equipment. So that's just a really cool ability there. Really important figure to this team, and we'll go ahead and show later on how we're going to get the most use out of him, because as he stands right now, he's good, but we're going to take him over the top and make him great. Alright, so last up for the figures that are on the main boarded force is number 23A, She-Hulk from the Marvel Heroclix Secret Wars Battle World set. She has the Asgardian, Battle World Other, Defenders, and Police keywords. She has a special on her movement, a special on her attack, and a special on her damage. Her special on her movement is Shore Beats Taking a Taxi Cab, Flight Ability, Force Blast, Running Shot. All fantastic powers. There's nothing there that I wouldn't want to have. Then she has the special on her attack called The Gavel Says I'm Yinsen City's Thor. Energy Explosion with 6 range dual target. So that's really cool there. We're giving her 6 range with dual target, and she's doing Energy Explosion. Now the only downside is that when you use this, you must use Energy Explosion. So it's kind of a drawback that we'll see later on, but don't worry, we got a workaround for that. Then she has the special on her damage called But These Are My Hammers. Exploit Weakness. When a character is knocked back at least 2 squares by She-Hulk's attack, after resolutions, give it an action token. So basically, we're just denying our opponent action economy, and we're able to cut through most of the standard defenses, which is pretty cool there. She comes in at 80 points, has the Defender's Team ability, has a printed 0 range, starts off with a 10 movement with that special, 11 attack with the special, 18 defense with Impervious, and 4 damage with Prob Control. So she's bringing Prob Control to the table, which is really good. That's fabulous. So between her and Sheriff Strange, we got 2 probs that are just right out there. She has that Running Shot and Energy Explosion for 6 damage. So this is what I was talking about, where the Energy Explosion was kind of a drawback, because you're never going to get that 4 damage with her. As this figure sits right now, it's always going to be 2, and you're going to be able to split it up. Now, that could be good depending on what's going on, but it's not great, and it's not as good as it could be. But we do have a solution for that, and we're going to be covering that right now when we talk about the team as a whole. Before we get to that, we're going to cover the 2 objects on the team. The first one is EXOSPEX. It is an equipment, and it says equip any, unequip drop. It is 12 points, and it says effect free. If this character is at least 30 points, choose a standard speed or standard attack power. Until your next turn, this character can use the chosen power but can't use any other standard power of the chosen type, speed, or attack. So really cool there, super powerful. We're going to cover who that goes on here in just a minute. But next we're going to cover the other object, which is Proxima Midnight's Spear. This has a equip any, unequip drop. It is 8 points. It says effect indestructible. Range. Make a range attack with a range value of 6, targeting a single character. After resolution, choose one. A hit character gains immobile until your next turn, or deal a hit character 1 penetrating damage. And let's go ahead and talk about this team as a whole, how it's going to run. Alright, so now we talked about everything as an individual. Now we're going to talk about how it's going to run as a team and how this is going to come out on top against a lot of the current meta teams, at least I feel. I haven't done this in any tournaments or anything like this, like that. I've just been, playtesting it on my own, playtesting individual parts, seeing how it worked. And I have a really good feeling about it. So what we're going to do here is obviously, unless we're playing against Goblin King, at which point we would not burn any ID cards unless we had to. We'd burn our Marvel Girl ID to call in the 50-point common Marvel Girl with TK. She's going to TK the EXOSPEX back to Sheriff Strange. He's going to power action to pick him up. And then basically you're going to end your turn. Then your next turn, Sheriff Strange is going to pick TK. He's going to TK the object back to She-Hulk. She's going to power action pick up Proxima Midnight's Spear. And then, hopefully you're hitting some kind of a leadership role with Sheriff Strange or Sheriff Rogers so that you can do something your third turn. Now, if it looks like your opponent's going to rush you, obviously modify that to a degree. Really, the important thing is picking up the EXOSPEX. The Proxima Midnight Spear is more of just a flavor thing to make She-Hulk better, but it's not gonna make or break this team. So, once Sheriff Strange has the EXOSPEX, basically you're picking Running Shot with him, and you're doing the Running Shot Psychic Blast for 4 damage, and then you're making Star Fox's drop Mjolnir, or whatever the character is, you're making them drop whatever the good thing is that they took the time to pick up, and then also you're shutting down the power actions. And then on other turns, you're picking stealth with the EXOSPEX, so that he can basically be mobile blocking if they don't have improved targeting, ignores hindering. So really cool there. And that 18 defense with energy shield is going to keep him pretty protected. And here's why. It's because of Sheriff Steve Rogers' special on his damage, where they can't increase their attack or replace it positively when they're attacking him or adjacent friendly characters. So you're going to keep this formation pretty tight. And actually, it's going to be pretty close to how it's set up right here on this little platform. If you have your druthers on how to set it up, you might change where Sheriff Strange is, just so that you can get a chance at getting 2 leadership roles and pulling token off She-Hulk if you have to. But the point is that they're all going to be packed in tight like this, because you want to be able to pull tokens, and you want everybody to be getting that bonus from Sheriff Steve Rogers about that your opponent can't increase their stats, their attack values when attacking. So that's pretty good there. Sheriff Strange is, just making his leadership roles to try to remove tokens from She-Hulk is really your main attacker. And the reason for that is she has the Battle World Other keyword. So she's one of the only I think she's the only policeman that can take full advantage of Sheriff Strange's Baron of Battle World trait. So you're able to perplex up, I would say, when you're able to perplex her attack up to a 13 and just go to town. A 13 on what's, probably a 20. You got 3 chances. You got your attack roll and 2 extra rolls via probability control to hit that. I like your chances. You got 3 shots at a 7, which should be roughly 50-50. You should hit one of those. So that's pretty good there. And then if it's a defensive turn with her, I'd perplex up her defense by 2 to get her to a 20 as well. And then I just kind of leave, as I discussed earlier, I'd leave Grey Ghost in the back just to kind of chill. If you're on a map with a lot of hindering terrain and your opponent doesn't have improved targeting, ignores hindering, you can use him as sort of a mobile blocker to really frustrate your opponent. And then you could push him to click number 5, which is his 3rd click in on his 40-point dial to gain prob and outwit, or I'm sorry, perplex and outwit. But I'm not a fan of just giving up clicks if I don't have to. I'm trying to keep him on those first few clicks as much as possible, especially in a star-rich environment right now. So Proxima Midnight Spear, that's the object we really haven't talked about. This is going on She-Hulk. If you can get it to her, it's pretty important. Not as important as the EXOSPEX. So let's just get that out of the way. Not as important as the EXOSPEX, but pretty important, because at that point, you have an 80-point character that can running shot and attack from a range of 6. She has Force Blast. She's attacking for 4 damage. And then after she hits them, hopefully a 13 attack for 4 damage. Then you make the decision, well, am I going to make them immobile, or are they going to take the 1 penetrating click of damage? This just takes her from what I would say a good figure and turns her into a total monster. And if you're facing an opponent with this just trying to swarm you with something, like let's say they're running Giant Girl Swarm, because that's something I like to perpetuate. I like the Giant Girl Swarm a lot. Still pick up the spear if you can, but just go to town with the running shot energy explosion with dual target. Like, just do that. That'll take care of a lot of those swarmy teams with only 1 or 2 clicks. This really works well against Mudman too. Now, granted, he has his shape change in his super senses rolls to try to get out of things, but you're able to hit him with the initial attack. If it sticks, then he takes the 1 penetrating, so taking 2 out of his 3 clicks, or 2 out of his 3 tokens. I guess clicks. I'm not sure. How would you guys refer to his life? But anyway, it's 2 out of the 3 that takes care of. So really good there. She's probably the best main attacker for this team that I could find. There were some others that I looked at that were pretty good. They were police keyworded, but her having Battle World Other just put it over the top. And when you put Proxima Midnight Spear on her, it just makes her phenomenal. And Sheriff Steve is just here. He's got the PD team ability, so if he can draw a line of fire to an opponent character, they get -1 of their defenses. So then you've got, Sheriff Strange and She-Hulk that, it just makes their jobs that much easier. Then he's got leadership. Try to pull a token from Sheriff Strange or She-Hulk. And he's actually a fairly competent secondary attacker on his own. I wouldn't break formation to do it, but, if you can get a running shot in there or 10 attack for 3 damage and, get your showdown roll, go ahead and do it. That's, more power to you. And he's also able to call in 50-point Cyclops, the super rare one, to attack. And then you got to use She-Hulk or Sheriff Strange to call in Penance. But Penance is on the team basically. You call him in and he poisons a Starfight. And then he has, his Force Blast or his Psychic Blast for, multiple damage. And then the Cyclops is just awesome with his running shot and sidestep and Psychic Blast and things like that. So yeah, you guys let me know in the comments below what you think of this team. Really excited about it. If there's a figure you'd take out and swap for something else, let me know that too, because I'm, not 100% set on this team, but I do like it a lot. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a share. It really helps keep me motivated to make these videos. That's all I have for you guys today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.